He just said, he's not breathing, he's not breathing. And I'm like, first I thought he was talking about you. I was like, honey, who? And he's like, the dog.
Once you found out it was the dog, you were then concerned. When you thought it was me, you were just like, we need clarification. You are not lying.
Dreaming in red, white, and blue. Only in America. Where you can buy the drugs you want to.
They were like really busy preparing for the trial for the guy that chopped his wife's head off with a shovel.
Would you like to enlighten me with a little tale?
I will enlighten you. But this is going to be more fucked up than the fact the guy cut his wife's head off with a shovel. I really don't have any more details on that because at the time, that wasn't really that interesting compared to everything else that was going on in our life. So the prisoners are out there with fucking axes.
Did your dad really try to kill your mom? And
I didn't realize how well we were trained by the Michigan Department of Corrections.
Isn't that funny? You like a crunch bar?
Yeah, would you like a snack and a beverage while I, murder your father?
How do you know him? Are you related? That's my dad. And he's like,
we're going to be together forever. It's not good. It's not Jesus-in, but it ain't innocent. It ain't innocent, but it ain't wrong either.
Josh, while you're here.
Yes.
Did you ever have any thoughts or questions to us about our father? And what you happen to know about him?
Fuck. The mic's right here.
All right.
I know that's a really big, broad question, but
Correct.
We're coming to the end of it. But you are an entirely new generation. Do you have any thoughts or questions about it?
When did you go from being this crack addict I'm always hearing about to being the man that will jury rig every single thing in his garage and helps out everywhere?
Okay, so I will argue you're conflating two things. He's always been that person too.
Yeah.
Okay, so
He's just being sober about it.
Well, you can still be high and jerry rig things.
he's always been that person. It's just he doesn't have a driver's license, and he can't go to buy crack anymore. When he got out of prison this last time, like everybody who he knew is in jail or dead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And crack dealers like to make money by selling crack, but it's easier to not provide crack and rob somebody if they think that they can get away with it. And a blind old white guy in Muskegon Heights might be pretty easy to get away with that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because he can't identify you. And, so anyway. So yeah, he's not, crackhead. So there you are. He learned his lesson. He's away from it. So,
Yeah.
what other questions you got? So yeah, when he went back to being who I knew when I was a kid.
How the fuck did he lose his license?
Which time?
Well, this last time permanently?
Yeah.
That's when he killed a little girl.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's why he went to prison.
Right.
Operating a vehicle while intoxicated, resulting in death.
Yep.
Damn.
Under the influence of alcohol and crack cocaine. Well, he wasn't under the influence of crack cocaine at the time, but he had cocaine in his system from previous use. Anyway.
So clearly he had his license taken away from that incident, but then he was in prison for 7 years?
Yeah.
So how old are you now?
I'm 20.
20. So he got out when I was 24?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, I'm 34 now, so 10 years ago. So and that he has glaucoma. Mm-hmm. He has bad eyes. He had glaucoma prior to this. So the 7 years he's dealing with prison health care, there's only so much they can do for him. Like, even if he was out of prison, there's only so much medical science can do for you if you have glaucoma. Mm-hmm. But during this time, his eyesight's getting worse. So even when he got out of prison, he only has so much of his eyesight left.
He was legally blind by the time he got out of prison.
Yeah.
Even if he wasn't restricted by the state from getting a license, he wouldn't have been probably.
Yeah. So it got taken away initially, but at the end of it, he couldn't get it back because of health reasons. So,
All right.
yeah.
What's the stupidest shit he has ever done?
You mean besides killing a girl?
Yes. As in
There-
funniest stupidest thing.
So I will say, there was a time I was in high school. He was still like fully immersed in his drug dealing. Well, drug buying. If he was drug dealing, maybe he'd have some money. But he is often visiting Muskegon. So I'm in high school. This is before he went back to prison the second time, and he is fully just, he's elbows deep back into his drug problem. And as mom has taken Ryan before, but now that he has a family and a young son and a young daughter to deal with, I am now at the helm of the home. And so mom is now taking me to Muskegon to say, can't find your dad. Your grandma just called me. Dad hasn't come back in over 24 hours, so we're going to go to the Heights. And this is his make and model vehicle. This is his license plate. I'm going to scan this side of the street. You're going to scan that side of the street. We're going to keep the doors locked. If you see anybody running at the car, let me know so I can accelerate and get out of the neighborhood. If you see any fuckery, let me know. Right now we're looking for this vehicle, but also be on high alert for fuckery. We need to get out of the neighborhood. And so those couple of times that we went, we never found Dad's vehicle. There was one time that he was in the neighborhood to buy drugs, and he says that there was a vehicle, a van, that kept following him up and down the street, and he tried to lose them a couple of times, and they ended up following. He got out of there because he's like, I don't know what's happening. This person keeps tailing me. It's just a minivan, but their windows are tinted. He can't see in. He doesn't know what the deal is. He doesn't recognize them, so he doesn't think it's another dealer trying to fuck with them. He leaves the hood. He drives all the way back to Bridgeton area, and even though he doesn't live at Grandma's house anymore, they've been divorced for years, he decides to park in her driveway to see if they follow him home all the way. And they did. They came up the hill. They parked behind him for a couple seconds, saw that he was parked and turned off his car. They backed out and left. His claim is he's like, I don't know who these people are, but he's like, sometimes there's church groups that come to the druggy neighborhoods and they basically try to chase people out of there so they don't do drugs. Like if they chase us out of there and we can't be there long enough to buy drugs, we can't do the drugs. They just chase us. So he assumed it was these church people that followed him all the way. And when mom heard about, not only did he drive all the way back to Fremont, he parked in her fucking driveway where he doesn't live anymore, but she does, and so does her teenage daughter, and occasionally her other daughter. She's like, how do you know that these people weren't other dealers or other people casing you? Oh, now they know where you live, even though you don't actually live there, just your ex-wife and your two daughters? What the fuck is wrong with you? And he's like, no, I don't think that's what was happening. I think it was this church group. She's like, but you don't know that. The fuck's wrong with you? And he just brushed it off. He's just like, yeah, I don't think that was anything. So potentially putting us in danger. He didn't think it was a big deal. So that happened. There was another time that he ripped Dale off. Like he asked to borrow. So everybody, all the adults in our lives, all of my dad's friends, once Ryan and David started working, he started hitting them up for money. Once Christina started getting in that relationship with Matt, her husband originally, Justin's dad's like, oh, she's married, so she has money now. So he started asking Christina for money. Christina's 16, but, oh, she's got a husband. I'll ask her for money. There was times that he showed up to, you remember Tim Daly from I know you met him. We've gone camping with him a couple times. So that is dad's cousin was Karen. Karen is married to Tim. Karen passed away. They showed up to Tim's house, who lives in Fremont, and he's just like, he tried to stiff him, and he's like, oh, I don't have the money. I'm just going to run away. And they're like, well, I have a gun. How about we get in my car? And he's like, oh, I got friends that'll pay you that are good for it. So they'd from Muskegon, drive all the way to Fremont. They ended up at Harold Gillespie's house. They end up at Tim's house. He's got a gun to the back of his head, and he's calling his friends like, oh, just come out to the car. You got a couple of bucks I can have? And like, there have been times that it's kind of a miracle some of us are here because of his bullshit. It's like, and he's like, he'd just get so deep in it. It was just kind of like, well, I've already gotten this far. Everybody already hates me. I might as well I'm just going to fucking do whatever I want. And that's kind of how he ended up going back to prison. He just like, well, I'm just going to fucking go for it. I've already gotten this far. It's already this fucked up. I'm just going to do what I want now. So that's kind of the dad. Like, you initially know him, how he is getting to know him. But like, since I am the last kid, I got to know him when he was like really just elbows deep in shit. Like, oh, well, I guess I got a fourth kid now. And yeah. So it's, I don't know. We have a lot of the same experiences, but also we have a lot of different experiences with this person and who they were as a person. So we both definitely have different stories about both the good and mostly the bad.
Yeah, here, Josh. I'll tell you one. So you want to hear one that's funny?
Please. Sorry.
So this girl I'm talking to gets me some weed because she's got the best weed. She's just trying to impress me, but whatever. So, but I got caught, my mom and dad, with the weed. I won't go into the details on a recording. We'll pause for the audience. So I get caught with this weed. I get in trouble. And so dad's got to give me the drugs are bad McKay speech. So I go get in the van and give me the speech about why drugs are bad. We keep talking about how terrible drugs are and why you need to stay away from all this stuff. And we're just kind of driving around. And I'm like, next thing I know, we're in Muskegon. And so while explaining to me that drugs are bad, he takes the $12 he has in cash and buys crack. For him to smoke on the way back to the house, explaining to me that drugs are bad. Okay. And we get to the top of the hill on the other side of grandma's house. And he's like, oh, yeah. And he turns around in the driveway next to what used to be Alexander and Lucille's house.
Yeah.
Turns around and he's like, I gotta get more. And I'm like, Dad, he gave you like some pebbles and stuff. He didn't even give you like $10 worth. He just getting you enough to make you need more. That'd be pretty stupid to go back. And he's like, yeah. So we're gonna go back now. And this is one of those moments where you like reflect back and you're like, you had a decision to make and you picked the wrong one. Because what I wanted to say was, yeah, why don't you just let me out here? But I didn't. I was like, well, somebody's got to be here to identify the body. And so that was the first time he took me into the Heights to buy crack. I was like 13, 14. I don't know.
Yep, that sounds about right.
And probably 13. And Dad bought more crack. And yeah, I lasted a while. And eventually he took me back and dropped me off in the driveway. But anyway, he wanted to give me the drugs are bad speech. And that's how we went to buy crack.
Drugs are bad.
Yeah, they're real bad.
Is that the time that Mom found out?
Yeah, she was pretty pissed.
And what did he say to her?
I don't remember anymore.
she loves to tell this story. She should be here for it.
Oh.
Maybe not, because it gets her ramped up like nothing else.
Oh, yeah, I
but
bet.
she claims that he told her, "Oh, I wanted him to see how easy they were to get, so that he may, in the future, avoid such confrontations."
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay,
The classic "do as I say, not as I do."
That's crack logic,
which was
Josh.
the parenting of our father.
Yeah. I mean, again, don't let that cloud who you know today.
Yeah.
It's a very different person. But that's what addiction does, you know? There was another time I went with Dad, and I think I might have been living here then. I'm not sure. Anyway, he bought some shit and a few times, and then he ran into somebody he owed money to. And they decided the best thing to do was just get in the car. And he wasn't getting out till he got paid.
Yeah. They're good at that.
So Dad drove him back here to get money. And it was about when we got off of 31 onto Holton Road before this guy realized I was sitting in the front seat. He was pretty fucked up too. And for him, he wasn't staring at somebody else because he's like, who the fuck's that? And he's like, oh, that's my son. And this guy realizes that there's a 14-year-old sitting in the front seat. And he's like, fuck. Like, we stopped at Holton, the gas station, to put like $4 in gas in and change. Because the crack dealer paid the $4. And he was like, do you like want something to drink, some chips? And I'm like, I don't really need any snacks for the show, bro. Let's just get you whatever the fuck you got to get and get you out of here.
Yeah, my kerfuffle is not with this child.
Yeah.
Would you like a crunch bar?
Yeah, would you like a snack and a beverage while I, murder your father?
Yep.
So, I mean, Grandma and Grandpa were not giving him any money.
Yeah, I bet not.
And I was like, yeah, here's the deal. The guy's in the car in your driveway. And he knows who I am now.
Yep.
So either you guys kind of pay this guy off so he forgets who I am, or I'm going to go downstairs and go through my shit and find enough money to pay this guy off to forget who I am. Because
the other option is he's going to murder him in the driveway, push his body out of the vehicle, and go back home.
Yeah. And
that's kind of it.
Yeah. And I figured one of two things was going to happen. Either, they pay this guy off, or Grandpa was going to murder him.
Yeah, that too.
One of the two. I was really hoping for just to pay the guy off. And that's what happened. And anyway, drugs are bad. So that's a funny story.
Yeah.
Does he know about the Bender story? About Dad selling Grandma's van? No. And you having to go get him?
No.
Does that fit in this episode?
Yeah. Well, I think
all
so.
right.
Yeah, we're only at 4 hours and 4 hours, 18 minutes and 59 seconds. We're going to hit our first 5 hour mark.
I don't hear anything.
Sorry, Josh, you didn't have headphones. You couldn't hear the applause. Anyway, Sandra, go for it.
Oh, God. Well, I remember getting a phone call. This was one of the times that we went to go look for him because Dad didn't go to work. And then, lunch came, afternoon, evening. He still hadn't come back home. And so you and Grandma had to go to the Heights to go look for him. he had, at the time, he had, which van was it? It was the maroon one.
Yeah.
Like it was grandma's van, the nicer one. He brought that to go do what he was going to do. And grandma's like, yeah, here's the keys. Come back in a couple hours. And then he was gone, a missing person for 3 days.
Yeah.
And then you guys finally found him in a house.
Yep.
That detail I don't know much about. But he didn't have the vehicle anymore. He found a young couple walking down the sidewalk and said, hey, do you want to buy this vehicle from me? Them thinking, yeah, this sounds legit. Paid him for it. He handed over the keys. They gave him I don't know, some stupid cheap, $600 for a whole vehicle. Didn't ask any questions. And so he now has a mountain of money for drugs that he has never had this much before, just to spend on drugs. He's already in the Heights, so he just fucking went for it and just fucking went for it, spent it all, and then he was missing for a couple days. Couldn't find the van, couldn't find him. We assumed he was dead.
Mm-hmm. Not for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were kind of expecting this eventually because he was getting worse again. And
the advantage of being a long-haired hippie, by the way.
So that's as much as I know. I know Mom and I drove around looking for him a little bit on trying to contribute our own time to this. What the fuck now? But
So by the time this takes place, I am pretty close to 16. And the only reason why that's relevant is because I had been spending some time in Muskegon with my friend Burnout. And when we spend time in Muskegon, I spend time getting to know the community. And so Burnout this is going to surprise you, a user of drugs. And I got to know a lot of people, which was convenient for stalking down Dad. And so got a tip, you should check out this chick's house. All right, well, let's go, And Grandma's kind of like, should I even ask how you know these people? And I was like, probably not. I'll just say
that was an uncanny.
Yeah. Thank you,
Grandma.
I was like,
it warmed my heart a little bit. Grandma, is that you?
So, sorry, I had to look up at the lights. It didn't flicker. But I did tell her, I was like, just so you know, I was like, look, Dad and I are not into the same thing. Let's just be clear. It's not good. It's not Jesus-in, but it ain't innocent. It ain't innocent, but it ain't wrong either. Right. Let's go here. And I knew the proximate neighborhood. I knew the neighborhood. I just didn't know which house on the street.
Right.
We were able to determine that by stopping people. And long hair, tie-dye, whatever. I don't look like a narc. So I do look out of place, like I'm shopping in the wrong aisle for the groceries I'm looking for. But here's the thing, everybody smokes weed.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, I'm looking for so-and-so, whatever her name was, whatever her street name was. And they're like, oh, yeah, you sure that's where you want to go? And I'm like, yeah, I ain't looking for green. I'm looking for yay. It's a Mexican name for Coke. Not the point. It's Spanish. It's Spanish for cocaine. It's a slang term. But anyway, not the point. So I was like, yeah, no, I'm just looking for yayo. England grandma's meanwhile.
In her finest church blazer.
Oh, yeah.
With her coiffed hair.
Yeah. With fucking clip-on earrings.
She's got the crystal angel hanging off the rearview mirror.
Oh,
She's got Delilah cranked on the radio.
Yeah. And by the way, she has clip-on earrings because Jesus didn't give her holes in her ears. And if God did not feel she needed holes in her ears, she ain't going to put them there.
Yep.
So.
Quote, end quote.
Mm-hmm. So.
I believe it.
Hallelujah.
So figure it out. Figure out where the house is I need to go. And I'm like, all right, cool. So, there's a lot of investigation that needs to take place to make sure, because you just don't want to pound on the wrong fucking door, right? And so, I do all those things, like Inspector Gadget, No, I just fucking walk up and I'm like, here's the thing. But he gets in the car And I'm like, he's going to be in the back. He's going to be in the back of the van because he ain't sitting in the passenger seat because I want him jumping out.
Yeah.
So.
Child lock on.
Yeah, Grandma wants to know where van is. That ended up being one of those things where it's like, Grandma's got to make a decision. You want your van back, you got to file a police report.
Yep.
And here's the thing. People who bought the van didn't commit a crime. So, son sold your vehicle without permission. He's the one that committed a felony. You going to run him? So that was another nail in Grandpa's fuck this shit coffin.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to make an episode out of this section?
Oh, this is going to be for probably members only. We'll probably put it on the Patreon.
I do remember the family meeting. Like, he really did it big there, right? Like, sold Grandma's van.
Oh, yeah.
Like, all of his kids and his family were looking for him, expecting to find him dead. Like, he made it out on the other side and was clean for a couple days. So, we had a family meeting at Grandma's house. We all came over here. Mm-hmm. He sat in Grandpa's chair in that corner. Mm-hmm. We're all seated in the living room. First he comes in and he's trying to make light of the situation. And he's like, he's starting to sit down and he does that thing and he's just like, well, is this the hot seat? And Dale freaked the fuck out on him. And he's like, do not make a joke. He's like, this is not a funny situation. He's like, do you have any idea what kind of shit you're in right now? And that clammed him up pretty quickly.
Dale.
Spoiler alert. Grandpa said, let's make the insurance claim and call the cops.
What the my brother in Christ, you did the crime.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was a big one that, like, yeah, he's constantly up to this fuckery, but he did it up the worst all in this one thing. And it's like, something's got to give. Because we're like, okay, well, you almost just died. We all came together, pooled our resources and our know-how.
Even your ex-wife who wishes you were dead.
Yeah.
She was just going to look for the corpse. That's why she joined.
Yeah. So it's like we all came together and we did this thing. We pooled our resources. We got you out of the situation. Now you're here. You're sober enough at this point that we can have a conversation about this. Like, this is going to happen and we're going to fix this. It was like the first time that, like, so Grandma and everybody, like, as it's affecting them, they're trying to deal with it on their own time. This time was like the first time they really, like, shined a spotlight on it. And they're like, no, you need, like, we're going to talk about this as a family. We're going to have this meeting right now. But, like, we're going to let you know right now, like, you almost died.
And here's the thing. I want you to know, like, how eventful this is.
Yeah.
Like, when Kent died, we didn't talk about it.
No.
As a family. We sat in that living room and nobody said a fucking word.
Yeah.
When Troy died, we all sat in that fucking living room and nobody said a fucking word. We went to the visitations for those two. Didn't say a fucking word. Funerals. Didn't say a fucking word. This time we said, no, we're gonna talk about it. This is a family problem. We're going to deal with it in-house.
Yep.
This was a completely new direction. And I think it was because Grandpa had some shit to say and he won't go keep quiet no more.
Grandpa has had enough.
And I think Grandma wanted him to understand that, he was about to come off the chain.
Yep.
She couldn't keep that dog at bay anymore. He cost too much.
Yeah.
Fiscally and emotionally. Motherfucker's just trying to fish and enjoy retirement.
He was too.
And this motherfucker goes and steals the thing that pulls his boat.
Yep.
Grandpa actually asked me once if I wanted to go deer hunting with him. And I was like, I would, but Dad pawned my rifle.
Yeah.
Oh.
He pawned my 308.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Twice.
One of these days.
I blame Mom for the second time, though. Because when it came back from the pawn shop after the slip got paid, mom put it away in her closet. So, wouldn't be found. So I didn't know it was gone and she didn't fucking look for it. So we didn't know it was gone till after the pawn slip expired. So we couldn't get it back anyway.
Got it.
And it's like, Grandpa's like, already fucking stolen. And I'm like, that's the use of a firearm in the commission of a felony. Wow, foreshadowing. So, it's a mandatory minimum 2-year bid. Day for day, no good time. But anyway.
How did that fucking creature of a thing turn into Grandpa Mark?
No. Grandpa Mark turned into that creature of a thing, and then he went back. That's the power of drugs, man. They can fuck you up. Just like that.
Yeah, that's why I ain't gonna touch that shit.
Yeah. You can't do that, man. It's
So when Dad got out of prison the second time, I was
the second time in your life or the third time overall?
Third time overall.
Okay.
Gotta make that distinction.
I guess I was not aware until
I didn't realize I was breaking news on the
this
bike.
summer. I was today years old.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the look she gave me when I said that, I was like, oh shit, I just broke some news.
we don't usually get that in general. So biscuits. Where was I going with this?
So we were out, there was an important family meeting. Dad tried to make a joke. Dale said, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Dale said, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it was his attitude. He was mad because, Dad was getting all the attention and money.
Well, he was mad because Dad borrowed money from him for something else, spent it on drugs, and he didn't have money to give it back to Dale, and that's what pissed him off the most because Dale realized he wasn't going to get paid back.
Yeah, look, I mean, may Uncle Dale's memory be eternal, but I believe if you go back to our intro song 4.5 hours ago, It's All About Me. That's his theme song.
Yeah.
So
this is really bugging me. I was going to make a point. You guys not remember what I was saying? Because I don't remember.
No, I was getting distracted. So we talked about the meeting.
About the third time.
He gets out the third time. Second or third time.
He got out the second time.
Yep.
I'm there.
Okay.
So
sponsor today, Fiji water. Okay, sorry.
Before I lose it again, shut up. So he gets out the second time, and this whole time, Nate and I have been dating.
Yes, third time, Josh. For those keeping score at home.
Listen.
Continue, you're gonna lose it again.
You're not too young yet for me to whoop your ass. But anyway, so this whole time Nate and I have been together in sort of a weird thing. He's never met my dad. Because basically, like the month before we started dating is when he went back to prison for running over the Amish cart. Mm-hmm. And we just start dating. And then, we go through high school. We go through a couple of years of college. And then I'm like, oh, would you look at the time? My dad's finally getting out of jail. Would you like to meet him? And so I'm like 23. Said make Nate 21. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, okay, well, I guess you're going to meet my dad.
The awkward guy that started this whole thing.
Yeah, so been together this whole time.
See, so Dad's tragic accident brought the two of you together.
Sure.
Well, that was his opening to talk to you. He's like, human would ask, right? So
he said a few words to me beforehand.
Are you sitting there?
No. There's more than that.
Do you think the girl in front of us breath smells like cat food? I smell cat food. I love Nate. I'm just talking shit. I just just so everyone's aware, like I talk shit. That's what I do. If I like you, I talk shit. If I don't like you, I don't mention you.
So I was trying to iterate to Nate how serious the situation was. Like, it had gotten this bad up to this point. But, like, Nate grew up very normal. very, very normal. His parents are still together. They're still together now. They're great.
They're still on their first marriage?
Yeah.
Huh.
High school sweethearts.
High school sweethearts
Yep.
too?
They've been together for over 30 years. They're just living their best life. They're
Happily
great.
married the first time.
Love 'em.
God, he is the normal.
They're fantastic. So,
Yeah, they're like nice people.
yeah, and because they have their life together, they have a lot of nice things. So I am like, we're going over to coming to Grandma's house to meet, so Nate can meet Dad. And I remember saying to him in the vehicle, I said, here's the thing. I said,
Don't give them $5.
well, I went further than that. I said, if for some reason there is an event going on at your house or if there's some reason my dad has to come to your parents' house, I said, if you can not invite him, I'm not trying to be mean, but I said, he has the mindset of a drug addict. I said, he's going to see your dad's giant ass fishing boat. Mm-hmm. He's going to see all the tools in his garage. Mm-hmm. He's going to see all of these things. He's either going to be like, if he starts getting back into this fuckery, he's going to break into your parents' garage and steal shit to pawn. He's going to show up on their doorstep when everyone's away at college. He's going to be like, I have this new resource. He's going to show up at your parents' house and be like, they have a boat. They have 2 trucks. They have a camper. They have 4-wheelers. I'm going to ask him for money. I was like, that's just the kind of person he is. I love my dad. When he's sober, he's great. But I said, when he is...
I hear.
But I was just like, when he is looking to use, I said, nothing stands in his way. And I said, if he even has an inkling of a thought to be like, oh, wait, Nate's parents, I'm going to stop over there and figure out a way to manipulate my relationship with my daughter, with her future in-laws, to use them to my advantage. And I told Nate, I was just like, I'm not trying to shit on my dad here, but I am trying to make you aware of this thing I was constantly aware of growing up, and the things I had to hide, put away, / just the things I had to be hyper aware of. And I was like, now that I'm older, now that I'm, an adult and have these relationships, and, eventually my parents are going to meet your parents. I said, eventually he probably will come over here. But I was like, just tell your dad if he ever does come over here, make sure his garage is locked. Make sure you draw the curtains on. I was like, and Nate was like, he really couldn't wrap his head around it. Because, he's 19, 20.
Lived a lovely, lovely, sheltered life.
I mean, he's got kind of,
I believe this is where you should bust out, my sweet, sweet summer child.
Literally. I don't know. It was hard because I'm like, I know you just met him or you're going to meet him. I was like, as a person, I was like, he's fine. I was like, I'm not trying to gas him up as like, he's this deplorable, I was like, your relationship with him will probably be fine. But I said, depending on how extensive that relationship gets, be prepared to have to start putting up walls and boundaries. I'm letting you know that right now. And he was like, in the 9-minute drive from his house to here. I was just sort of because I never talk about my dad to him. Because I didn't have a relationship with him, but I had all this knowledge about him that I was like, you have to protect yourself first, figure it out, and just don't give him enough rope to hang himself with, and we'll be fine.
It's the UFC, man. Protect yourself at all times.
Right. So he met him, and it was fine. And Dad told me later, he's like, yeah, Nate seems like a good kid, and I was just like, yeah, he is. He's a really good person. And then later on, Nate's just like, he's like, I know your dad was in prison for a couple of years, and he did all this stuff, and he's like, I know stuff about him, and he's like, he seems like a normal guy. And I was like, well, that's just it. I was like, he is a normal guy, but when he needs a fix, it's all out the window, and there is anything is possible, and not in the cutesy anything is possible. It's the
You can do it. It's all up to you.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. It's it was a very weird conversation I didn't expect to have, but I just sort of was like, I felt like in that moment I sort of had an info dump on him and prepare him for what could be what could become, that I'm like, if your parents ever catch my dad like fucking around on their property, like if they need to call the cops, please do. Like,
Okay, don't not on my account.
yeah. So I don't know. It was a interesting conversation I had to have that I never I guess anticipated, or it's not.
If you like the podcast you just heard, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, check us out at patreon.com/pessimism and Pop-Tarts. There are special benefits for members, such as ad-free listening, early access, and free and discounted merch for members. There's a plan for any budget, from tent campers to those of you MFers throwing around RV money. You can also get the latest updates on our website, pessimismandpoptarts.com. Whether you're a patron or just like the show, please tell your friends. And if you hate the show, you know what? Tell your enemies, because frankly, they sound awesome. Anyway, until next time.
And more music.